in my comfy, cozy cardigan because it's therapy day to day, and I've actually really come to look
Here is that
There's somebody in.
whether is that they don't have.
Who was the guy who was saying?
Okay, just 10 minutes. You just gotta watch the first 10 minutes. Okay, the beef.
Was said a couple.
The beef is best exposed by him because if I said it, I won't do it justice. Just watch.
Times. Apparently, a fighting game player, Rednew, is, I think, reviewing whether EO's a real fighting game player or not. I have no idea what this
Eason.
is, but
He's got a Capcom creators
I'm curious
video.
as shit.
Unity, the Neo Genshin community, does not have a me. What I mean,
That's the legendary quote. Pretty much, he's saying that the thing about gacha creators and fighting game creators is that the Withering Waves community does not have a me.
by that,
That's
you don't have someone who
crazy!
actually
Pretty much saying, like, this was the most narcissistic thing anybody has said in years about Genshin or anything. He's saying that, like, Withering Waves is gonna fail without me.
That's dumb as fuck.
He said that.
That's
he has
dumb
said that.
as fuck.
And the thing is, I like Withering Waves. I like Zenless Zone Zero, but he's the one who said that Zenless Zone Zero is better, and that there's no argument. And he started arguments because of this. He actually made this video members only. That's how much hate he started getting.
it's easy for fighting game players to understand this. It's very difficult for gacha game players.
He has words about that too. You should never block your videos or anything like that. He already made a mistake. He's saying basically, if he can't take a little tiny bit of hate, this guy will never get famous.
The only time you should make a video members only is if there's like
Sexual content or something that can get your channel banned.
that, but I was also gonna say like maybe your members did something and they want something special. You know what I mean?
That's the only time.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hide a video that way.
Mhm.
Is to understand
People are still
and
gonna see it and
accept
repost
this. This is called kara canceling. Now I can take kara canceling to the next stage. Now I can implement negative edging.
I can negative edge all over you.
If you think this is
The dude, the Asian dude is the guy making fun of this video. He was just kind of like giving us like comedy as this is happening. Because this is crazy.
I'm sorry, bro.
Dude starts bringing in like tactics in a 1v1 game. And the thing is, it is... So Tecton says that this isn't a fighting game. I agree that this isn't a fighting 1v1 game, but it's an RPG fighting game. And the thing is, he's trying to use terms in a 1v1 fighting game
Which is very different
than a RPG fighting game.
because in an RPG fighting game you're fighting numerous enemies at once. Sometimes.
Yes. So he's talking about like juggling an opponent, canceling the opponent, making sure that he can't do nothing, and it's like, cool. And then he starts saying how nobody does this and they're all stupid.
Never not be funny to
Bro,
me,
this isn't a
bro.
Capcom game.
welcome to fighting games, buddy.
I am also a huge fighting game fan. Honestly, he's incredibly off base.
Because I know it seems like I'm bad
What?
at Wuthering. I am, because I don't want this to be taken like as I hate Wuthering. I don't. I like Wuthering. I love the combat of the game. It's fucking stupid. It's the worst enemy design I've ever experienced in any game whatsoever.
That's
I've never
cap.
experienced something as dumb as that.
That's
I
cap.
was gonna say Wuthering's combat is bad because you spent a week trying to find practical applications for this cool tech, the juggling you discovered, and found out that the game has safeguards to prevent the exploitation of that tech. Then I feel like you've lost the plot.
Basically, he's saying that because he can break ZZZ, but he can't break Withering Waves, the game's bad. That
Why-
is so stupid.
And I'm wondering, what makes a game being broken make it good?
I don't know, just because you can beat it easy.
That's then cheating, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
So you just want to be able to cheat?
He just wants... Well, he's not cheating, because cheating is straight up like stat changes and all that. I would say that's exploitation. He's exploiting it.
I mean, I think that's kind of subjective, being able to define what is and isn't cheating. You know what I mean?
Well, in my terminology, cheating is when you say you have 100 health, the player against you have 100 health, and you're like, I got 200. That's cheating, to me. Exploitation is more like you know that if you crouch at this certain angle in the map and you keep kicking, he can't get you. But he doesn't know that, so you're exploiting it. it's not really cheating because it's still within the rules, but you're just heavily exploiting it, making it easier for you, and you're not doing it the right way.
That's like edging on the line of cheating and not cheating. You know what I mean?
Yes, and the thing is, the reason why I know this terminology is World of Warcraft does it often. They'll have something you can exploit, and our terminology when we play it is exploit first, exploit often. You get all the good shit that way. You get all the gold, you get weapons easy. Like, say there's 5 dungeons, and one dungeon has a shortcut that makes it 10 minutes while the others are 30. What dungeon am I going to do?
I can understand what you mean. The only difference here is that WoW is a game where you can do PvP.
Exactly. So what I'm saying here is basically he is mad that he can't exploit one game. And that is not bad game design. That's a stupid hot take. I feel like bro is just too much right now.
He got used to being able to exploit. And
thing
now
is-
that he can't, he's pissed.
I don't think it's that actually. I have another theory. He got big from ZZZ and he got an ego. Because he was less big before ZZZ. ZZZ came out, he got double the numbers.
I could see that. I've never heard of this guy until you showed me who he was.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening. He's getting an ego, and Tectone is humbling him right now.
Because, like, even if he is a good YouTuber, a good streamer, what have you,
Because
when
this
you get...
this came from that video I showed you,
Yeah,
where all of them were talking.
yeah.
So Tectone feels responsible.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Even if he is a good streamer, a good creator, whatever, you can't be being stupid, man.
Exactly.
You can't be being stupid. Like, the second you start acting stupid, everyone on the internet's gonna flame you, bro.
And the thing is, Tectone says this later in the video, it's okay to be stupid. It is okay to be stupid, but you gotta own it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm stupid, and it's like, oh yeah, I was stupid, and move on and act like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's where people are gonna flame you, and that's what's happening with this guy. He's acting like this never happened after making the video private.
Dude, making the video private is such a pussy move.
Just own it. Be like, okay, I had a hot take. It was stupid. Moving on.
Like, it would have even been better to disable the comments.
Even
That would have been better.
Even that. He wouldn't get any comments if he just acknowledged what he did and moved on.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that.
Well, I mean, there still would have been comments, but, like, not as bad.
They would actually be like, so I feel like there's a route that's just the useless route, and once you put up your, like, say I want to fight someone, but I don't want to fight him. So I say, I'll whoop his ass. And he's like, okay, fight me in public. And then I'm like, no, and I run away. Now everybody thinks I'm a pussy, right? But what if I come to him broad day and it's like, hey, I don't want to fight you, you don't want to fight me, but how about we just don't talk to each other anymore? Respect. And I try to shake his hand. Everybody sees that. He can acknowledge that, but I gave everybody the route out. I gave everybody a good ending. If he does that, he would give everybody a good ending where it's hard to talk shit about him. But now it's easy to talk shit about him because he left it on such a bad note.
Yeah, and, like, I forgot what I was going to say because I coughed.
It almost made me laugh.
I'm sorry. My brain shut off. Tectone really does look like a bird. He looked like he just hatched from an egg.
If I can't
Literally.
cheese every fight, the game's bad. Insane.
Are Wuthering Waves or Zenless Zone Zero fighting games? A video popped up on my feed yesterday, and the title...
Do you know what a fighting game fucking is? One character versus one character in a side-by-side screen, right? Like, those are the real ones. Like, the Marvel versus Capcom, but technically it's a 3v3. Street Fighter, Tekken, like, I guess you could argue Sparking Zero, but to me, what a fighting game is... Well, I mean, I feel like I'm losing my mind here. I feel like it's very clear that Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves are just RPGs.
With very good
am I
combat,
crazy?
that's
Like,
it.
they're combat RPGs, but they're not fighting games.
Title read, "This is genuinely ridiculous."
And they're also usually fucking PvP.
And it featured two of some of my favorite
Yeah.
gacha creators, Mr. Pokey
Fighting
and
games
Ito.
have PvP.
Tectone also just dropped a video
Yeah.
recently with almost the exact same thumbnail and the same title. I haven't watched that one yet, but I want.
Oh, it's the exact same thing. I took his thumbnail, I put my face over it, and then everybody else did the exact same thing.
Watched this one. I watched this
Yeah.
one with Mr. Pokey. I gave it a watch, and the title did not lie. Io is a gacha game content creator, most known for his coverage on Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, and now Zenless Zone Zero. Recently, he's been catching up.
Jeez, you're just in time to see my true last accent when you leave.
A lot of flack for this video, which unfortunately we.
This was the craziest video I've seen in so long. This shit was so funny, but I wish more creators would make more videos like this, because I know the way that EO's talking is the way that the majority of content creators feel, which is they alone are the honored one.
Cannot review on its own
This shit
because
was
he
so
paywalled it and restricted it to members only. Now, I don't blame him. Apparently, he was being bombarded by a lot of hate comments, and unfortunately, a lot.
Nah, it really wasn't that much. It depends. Like, okay, if you feel bad for EO for what he went through in that one video, then good God. If you want to see what I go through on a daily basis, you cry. You legit have to cry, and you probably
Baldy,
should be at least
bitch,
$150
Genshin
in
hater,
my
faggot,
PayPal.
cuck,
It really
fuck
wasn't
you,
that big
bitch.
a deal. Like,
Every
I'll
day.
be real, man.
On every
Like,
video.
I
He's
trend
on every
used to it
social
now.
media.
Twitter
And that's why he's so
rolling
big, 'cause he
his
used
shit
to
on.
it.
If you're gonna
But
be
what
an
that
online
was
content
a
creator, you have to grow a spine.
respect. It's what I
Can't
get
let
on
people
a
get to you.
daily basis. But once again,
You need
everybody
thicker
handles hate at
skin,
their own
like-
degree. But yeah, it really wasn't that big a deal, to be honest.
And
that
Tiptoe's
hate
skin is
came
made
from
of
the side
leather.
of racism.
Hard.
Oh my God.
And he got racist, yes. So, y'all got a little too unhinged with those comments in the last video. That jam is now paywalled. I'm all for y'all being the woo-wall defenders, but there's only so many filter notifications, reasons, expected racism comments I want to see. Somehow I grew more subs from that video, but y'all ratioed the fuck out of me. Still standing 10 toes down on what I said. I happily invite anyone who believes they wronged to 1v1 me. Bro said 1v1 me. Literally.
Jesus, that's a new KFC special. Holy crap. All right.
Which, of course, that absolutely sucks. But I'm sure what you're wondering is, why is he receiving all of this hate? All I have is Mr. Pokey's reaction to it, which is an hour and 30 minutes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and react to what is equivalent to a full-length movie, but we're going to use
Yeah,
clips.
Mr. Pokey is the face of ZZZ because he's just really nice, and also he doesn't say anything that can get him in trouble. He's that Asian dude I showed you.
Oh yeah.
You saw him earlier in the video where he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very nice. He got to the last boss in Hollow Zero, and he said it himself. The game sucks. He played everything in it too, so like, there's no excuse. You got to play longer. No, the game kind of sucks.
But like, it's fun at the same time.
That's why he played it. But he is the most honest take on it. That's why people look at him as the king of ZZZ right now.
I'm
My
sure
best
1.1,
to summarize
1.2, and 1.3, the game will improve tenfold.
Oh yeah.
his points.
Sure.
In EO's video, he talks about
I will say, much to EO and Mai's credit, I do think there are people who hate EO because he's black. Just because I know there's also people who hate me because they're white. However, I don't think this is one of those situations where you can just blame they don't
You meant
like
to say
I'm
because
black,
I'm
they don't
white.
like because I'm white. I mean, the
Yeah.
video was just bad. That's pretty much it, you know what I'm saying? And also, here's the other thing. It's also not illegal to make bad videos, guys. It's also not illegal to have an ego. It's not. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Hey, man, if you want to be a jackass, if you want to be an egotistical prick, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter, but just own it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just own it, and don't act like, oh, I'm being. Just own that you have an ego. Just own that you're a jackass. You know, it's very easy. It is what it is. So exactly. Yeah, I see a lot of myself in EO. In bed, I see a lot of myself in EO in that video. 100%. I think it's hilarious.
an unnecessary war between the Wuthering Waves.
It's not illegal for us to hate either. Oh, absolutely not. No, I fully encourage anybody who thinks a content creator is a dumb fuck to call him a dumb fuck. Do whatever the fuck you want, man. Get him. Go get him.
Go get him.
And the Zenless Zone Zero communities. Wuthering Waves is seen as a more hardcore, Soulsborne game baptized by Mr. Miyazaki himself, and
Really?
Zenless Zone Zero is seen as an old Fisher-Price hand-me-down in terms of difficulty. And so what that means is you have a lot of Wuthering Waves commenters dogging on Zenless Zone Zero as a game, practically since
Fair.
day one. And I've seen this myself. A lot of content creators especially were straight hating on the game since its launch and have only recently started to change their perception of it. That's what
Who was the guy who was saying the game really ain't that bad? Who was that again?
He was one of the first
Who
content
was the guy
creators
who
to
said
say the game's
actually,
not
like,
that bad.
pretty decent?
and everybody started changing their opinions.
Oh, I remember that. And what were they calling me? A Hoyo shill, huh? Wow, look at that. Look at that. They all come around, man. They all come around. You're welcome. Hey, it is what it is.
That's what this video is supposed to be talking about. But to anyone actually paying attention to what EO was saying, it's clear that he's just using this video as a means to vent out his frustrations and grievances against both the Wuthering Waves community as well as his own.
I agree.
At the same time, he props himself up as this sort of peak content creator that has passion for his craft, and that the Wuthering Waves community's problem is that they don't have him.
Now you got the whole story.
That alone is crazy.
They don't have him. I just think that's so funny that he said that shit. That's gonna go down as legendary in the gacha community.
This is gonna be like that first big Tectone drama that made Genshin players drop him.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be just like that.
And that's why Tectone sees a lot of him in this guy, because he's doing what he did, but all the wrong ways. Like Tectone did the right thing in the wrong ways. Totally fucking.
Tectone, at least, like, I don't know what to say about the other guy, but so far Tectone has redeemed himself. You know what I mean?
Because like he realized what he was doing wrong and he's fixing it. But it's one of those things where you can be a good YouTube content creator, but a shitty person.
Yes.
And it happens a lot of the time because like you forget that you have to be human. You have to like show your human side.
You can't just say, I will save this game by my content on YouTube about it.
You're gonna get laughed at.
Bro, you are not Sunday. You're not gonna save everyone.
Bro acted like he's Sunday.
Like, no.
But you gotta watch the actual time that he says it himself. Because we can all say it, but hearing himself say it is funny as fuck.
Why did World of Warcraft just tweet,
Crazy,
yo?
dude, I'm gonna be quoting that for years. It's so good. Oh man, oh bullshit.
Or someone like him.
I know the reason the Wuthering Waves community is the way it is. This is gonna sound really egotistical, and I don't mean this as egotistical as
Yo, this is about to be absolute cinema.
this is gonna sound.
He's the king of season
But
Z.
I want to make this message very clear, okay? Wuthering Waves community, the Neo Genshin community, does not have a me.
Why did he say that? Literally, what made him think that that was a good thing to say on the internet?
Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit, bro. Oh my god. You know what this really reminds me of? Because I met EO a long time ago, and he's a really, I really like EO. I want to make that very, I do really like EO. But something about him lately has changed. Like, I don't know, like, it sounds like he has like there's somebody in his ear who's like gassing him up to do like dumb shit, to where it's like, if it's not his way, it's the highway, and if anybody says anything else, they're like attacking him. Like, I don't know. Like, it seems like EO, and I don't know anything about his personal life, but I know a lot of people who have like overly supportive partners in like a very toxic way get like this a lot, where like their partner feeds them lies. And it's like, oh no, you're doing everything right. If anybody's against you, it's because they're bad, and I'm the only one who understands you. Because I hadn't experienced that back in high school. But maybe it's like a friend or like a family member. But I feel like somebody's gassing up EO to say some crazy.
You think he's right? I think he's
have
right.
no idea.
Yeah.
It definitely
Someone
feels
is like, you're perfect, you're awesome, you're God.
If anybody says that you're doing something wrong, they're wrong. Not
Let's
you.
gas it up just to have this fucking weird ass takes.
What I mean by that,
That's
you don't have someone
crazy.
who's actually.
And so people's response to this is obviously angry. They're furious, and every little bad thing they thought about EO starts to boil
Because I don't remember him being like this at all.
over and come to light. EO is known by his circle of content creators and their fan bases as Bad Take EO, which honestly is a little mean. But after looking into
Everybody gets told they have bad takes. Everybody gets told they have bad takes. Everybody. Like, come on. This is such baby insults. Holy shit.
to
His
it,
chat's
I think
doing it right now. That's a trash take, Tectone.
And he just ignores it.
One thing that is very clear is that EO has a huge ego and has been holding this over others for a while now. In his video, EO talks about another video he made. Broken new tech is what is shown in the thumbnail.
Dude, what was really funny is I saw EO on Twitter the other day, and like somebody discovered this new tech, and then EO made a reply saying, "I already found this technique. I kept it within the circle of trust, but nice find, I guess." And I'm like, bro, what is going on? What is going on?
And in that video, he showcases a lot of cool tech for weathering waves.
Uh-oh! Somebody help!
Help on, what you buying?
There are bubbles everywhere!
Bubbles everywhere? Sounds like that.
I don't like this new SpongeBob shit.
That is cool, though.
You saw how many times I canceled 4 different launchers.
That was cool.
Guys, this is very important. I know this is like, some of y'all are gonna be like, bro, this doesn't matter. I can just match Square. Y'all wants to use this ultimate anyway. There's a very key thing that I want y'all to understand, that it's easy for fighting game players to understand this. It's very difficult for gacha game players to understand and accept.
Why is he acting
this.
like fighting game players are at a higher tier than gacha game players?
Oh my god, come on, bro. He's bongo canceling, man. Like, come on. There's no way bro doesn't know how he sounds. Holy.
I get it, bongo canceling. Cancel.
Yeah.
Fuck. Holy fuck.
I told you guys, it's basically square, hold square, and then jump. You hear the clunk? You hear the clunk? As soon as I hear the clunk. Boom. Now that you know this, this is called Kara canceling. Now I can take Kara canceling to the next stage. Now I can implement negative edging. Negative edging basically is where you hold an input, you do something else, and then you basically release the punch button, right, that you were holding onto the whole time, so that you can get the input immediately. Frame 1, you're gonna get whatever input you were looking for. Look. Dion is still, he performs the full thrust into launch.
Now, there are 2 gigantic problems in that video.
Okay, so one, it's a gacha game, right? And these games, they're just not that deep. Oh god, it's fine. We can bingus bongus, I guess.
One, the tech he shows is incredibly limited in its actual utility.
Yep.
Wuthering Waves is a game similar to Zenless Zone Zero. The objective of many endgame stages either involves destroying a boss or destroying an elite with a few mobs. The tech he displays involves juggling, which can only be done against the low-level mobs, not elites or the bosses. And on top of this, Wuthering Waves apparently has a combo limit mechanic, which prevents the mobs from being juggled after a certain amount of time. And the other huge problem is that he is forcing a lot of confusing fighting game jargon onto the gacha game community. In this video, the tech that he showcases are labeled negative edging and Kara cancels. Now, the first term, negative edging, is extremely funny considering how many edging jokes there are nowadays. But I've personally never heard of negative edging being used like that, because negative edge isn't really an active verb as much as it is just a noun, right? A game can allow for negative edge inputs, otherwise known as just button release inputs, and certain fighting game techniques are easier to pull off with negative edge. But it's not like I can negative edge all over you or anything like that. But that's besides the point. The reason why I'm doing this video in the first place is because I feel like if EO decided to watch this, let's say, that I might be one of the only people who can call him out on the ridiculousness of this, of his conduct recently, and for him to take that criticism to heart. Not only am I a creator, I am also a huge fighting game fan. I've been playing fighting games for at least 15 years, since the launch of vanilla Street Fighter 4.
Wait, does that mean that the Wuthering Waves community now has a me? Is this guy the me that the Wuthering Waves community needs? Wuthering Waves is saved! Finally!
Now, maybe EO can kick my ass in something like Street Fighter 6. I honestly don't know. I don't play actively. How I play fighting games is that I usually have like 2 or 3 days where I just binge hardcore and then I stop for a few months and then come back to it whenever I feel the itch again, right? I'm only platinum rank in Street Fighter 6 with Aki. I've played a ton of other fighting games though in my 15 years, obviously.
Sure.
Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Blaze,
Sure.
Blue Skullgirls, Dragon Ball Fighters, you name it, right? Probably more than I can remember. The point is,
I have a hot take. I am pretty confident I've played more fighting games than both of them. Like, I've played so fucking many, it's insane. And also, I've watched so much Salty Bet, it's insane. But here's the one thing I can't admit. I've never, ever, ever, ever tried to get good. Ever. I just don't care. Like, I really don't care. I pick up
it's
the
just fun to
game, I
play.
get as far as I can off my natural ability,
Yeah.
and then I drop it. I feel like trying to get really good at a fucking video game, I don't know, man. It's never really been my thing, to where I, like, have to look up new strategies to, like, try to clap them. I just never really gave a fuck, you know? You almost got good at Lethal League. Lethal League was fucking awesome.
I'm very familiar with the jargon he's trying to push onto the gacha game community, and honestly, he's incredibly off base. Not only is it silly to try and force these terms onto this community, but it's not even being used properly.
True.
If we're going to be pedantic and demand things being called the proper names, then
God.
what he's calling
Wait, what the fuck
and
is
demand
this?
things-
A lot of my fellow gamers this until I show the optimal of the game, like combining the school sheets in-game breakout. You need to listen to me. What is going on? What
You need to
the
listen to
fuck
me.
is going on with this tweet? Not only do we have Switch Tech in game and more fighting game execution mechanics, but we have negative edge. We have
Yo,
fucking
negative edge all over
edging.
you.
We have fucking negative edging in Wuthering Waves. TLDR, you can cheat input in the game while doing completely separate things. This isn't easy and yet takes above average execution, especially in Africa. Yeah, but I can just button mash and kill everything.
It's being called the proper names, then what he's calling Kara canceling is not actually Kara canceling. Kara canceling is originally a Japanese term because fighting game players are weebs, and a lot of tech came from Japanese players who would know life at the arcades and find these techniques. A lot of the prominent fighting games like Street Fighter is made by a Japanese company, so obviously a lot of Japanese players are really into it. Kara comes from the Japanese word kara, which means empty. If
Yep.
you or EO read the definition on the fighting game glossary or whatever, you might stop at the first clause, which reads, the ability to very quickly cancel a move into another move. And
So say you're doing Kamehameha in Dragon Ball Z, but you can cancel it and go into a combo. That's what card canceling is. Or you fake the enemy out with a move and then you go into a fighting. Because you could do that in fighting games. You can't do that in a gacha game. And when you can, it's really hard on purpose to make it so you're not doing it.
Yeah.
ignore practically everything else. But card canceling is not that. That's just describing a cancel. And
Yeah.
how he's doing it is by inputting a jump command with his launcher. When Gion launches the enemy with his spear, when that launcher makes contact with the enemy, he puts a jump command to cancel the recovery of it. But a card cancel is a very specific type of cancel. Card canceling refers to canceling a move into another move before the first move completes its startup frames. A fighting game move has 3 phases. It is the startup frames, so like your character winding up for the punch, right? The active frames where your character is actually throwing the punch, where it's active, where the opponent will be receiving the hit. And then the recovery frames when you are sort of following through the motion, but you're not actually dealing damage, right? The recovery frames, you recovering from throwing the punch. In most fighting games, a
Tectone
normal
is
cancel
blasted.
involves
He's like,
canceling
whoa.
a normal move into a special
Bro
attack.
had
As
facts
soon as
ready.
the normal move hits, card canceling strictly means that the first move cannot hit. It does not hit. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone do that? Isn't that just less damage? Wouldn't you want the normal hit to land in order to make a small little combo? And the answer is no. I'm very familiar with card canceling because it's how you perform one of the most popular techniques in Street Fighter 4. Ken's Kara throw. Ken has a special normal move, forward medium kick, where Ken takes a large step forward, then leads with a toe kick. This move pushes him forward by a lot. And the idea is that before the toe kick actually comes out, you would cancel it with a throw input.
That's insane.
This lets you essentially extend the range of the throw by a huge margin.
That's insane.
Having this technique was a huge advantage.
So you do the kick, and as soon as you do the kick, you press grab.
I see.
You can't do that in Zone Zero Withering Waves. You can't just
Yeah.
make another input cancel that input. The only thing you can do is jump. That's it.
The reason this works in fighting games
that
is
Ken
because,
had
like,
over other characters. The
I don't
importance
know how to
here
explain it,
is,
but I
though,
understand.
that
They program it in a way where if you have a high enough skill ceiling, you can beat anybody if you played it a long time.
this
Yeah.
move must have started up.
it has to
That's
do with
how
the coding.
Ken is pushed forward.
It's also
so much,
just 'cause,
and
like, there's
that
not
it
much in the
must
game,
be
so they wanna
canceled
give you more to
before
work
the
for.
kick actually comes out. Why? It's because the toe kick itself isn't cancelable, and even if it was cancelable, you wouldn't be able to land a throw since throws cannot combo from hits. So what EO is showing is just a normal cancel.
He looks like a little kid in Tectone.
Because he's happy that he wasn't the one that had to call him out, probably. This is perfect.
Wait, so he's even using the words wrong?
So,
Oh,
That is
my-
crazy. He's using words in the wrong way, acting like he's a genius.
if you like this video, hit that like or hit that dislike. Forever remain silent so to catch you on a future video. Boom. Okay, now we can talk about it more. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
I just had to show you that shit. That's what I watched this morning before I took an hour nap.
Honestly, how are you gonna use all this lingo and all this jargon, but use it fucking wrong?
Like,
You look like an idiot.
the biggest sentence I told you from the beginning, Tectone said it right, is you can be this stupid. You could be a dumb fuck, you can be an asshole, you could be the biggest prick ever, but you gotta own it. And if you aren't owning it, you're gonna look weird and pathetic.
Yeah, because like, oh my god. I'm canceling out my own fucking words because I'm so surprised by how stupid he is. And by the fact that he's not.
I'm higher internet ranked than him. Keep that in mind. This guy is acting like he's the king of ZZZ when he's not
Bro
even.
hasn't even beaten the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes YouTubers stress me out.
That's why Tectone learned his lesson. He's just reacting now. He learned his lesson after the years. You can't act like you know shit in this community.
You can't. And if you do know shit, you gotta make it like